All right, number 8. Line A passes through points -3, 7 and 0, -4. Okay, so those are the 2 points. The question says, what is the slope of a line perpendicular to line A? So this is an important word right here, is the word perpendicular, okay? So let's just talk about slope. So slope is rise over run, okay? So I'm just going to write down here, rise over run. Okay, that's the formula we use to find the slope of a line. Now, perpendicular, okay, we learned that to find the slope of a line perpendicular, there's 2 things we have to do. One, we have to flip the fraction. So slope is written as a fraction, so you'll flip the top and bottom. Then number 2, you're going to have to change the sign. So if it's positive, you know, you go to negative. If it's negative slope, then you're going to change it to a positive slope. Okay, it's just the opposite sign. All right, opposite reciprocal is what we put in our notes. Okay, so those are the 2 steps. All right, and remember, slope is rise over run. So since these points aren't plotted, I'm going to have to use graph paper to plot the points. So let's graph -3, 7 and 0, -4. Okay. Now, this is a line, so I'm going to use my ruler and draw a straight line to fill the whole graph. So you want it to go through the whole length of the graph. Okay, so we can see our line right here. Now, this has a negative slope because you see how it's going down from left to right. It's going down, so this is a negative slope. Okay, so it's negative. That means the perpendicular slope has to be positive. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my answer choices and I'm going to go ahead and eliminate B and D because my answer has to be positive. Okay, so I have these 2 choices. Now I'm going to go back and count my rise and my run. Okay, so it looks like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. And then my run is 1, 2, 3. So this is a slope of -11 over 3. Okay. Now, for perpendicular slopes, remember, you're going to flip the fraction. So flip the top and bottom. So that puts 3 on top and 11 on bottom. And you're going to change your sign. So the original slope's negative. That means my perpendicular slope is going to be positive. So my answer is going to be 3 over 11. Okay? And that would be answer choice C. All right. Next, number 9. Which pair of points defines a line perpendicular to line S? Okay. So here's line S. It's already graphed for me. Now, if I want to find the slope, I'm going to have to find the perfect points. Find 2, that's fine. There's usually more than that. So, but any 2 points that you use to count, you're going to find the correct slope. So I'll just use these 2. Okay, so I'm going to count my rise, that's 2. And I'm going to count my run, that's 3. Alright, so 2 over 3 is the slope of this line. Now, the key word, perpendicular. Okay, so perpendicular means that 2 lines will intersect at 90 degrees. Okay, so when we want to find the slope of a line perpendicular, we'll flip our fraction and then we'll switch the sign. So this will be flipped, it will be 3 over 2, and then the positive will become a negative. So this is my perpendicular slope. Alright, so I'm going to have to find which of these lines, alright, there's 3 choices, alright, has a slope of -3 over 2. Okay, so I could do it like that by finding the slope. However, when we graph the lines, we should be able to see our answer. So let me show you with the first one. So I'm going to graph 1, 6 and -2, 4. Alright, So I'm also going to draw a straight line through those 2 points. Alright, and then I'm going to label this answer choice A. Okay, so just by looking at answer choice A, they are not perpendicular. These lines do not intersect at 90. They look like they're parallel, which they are, because if this has a slope of 2/3, okay, that's the exact slope of this line here, 2/3. Okay, so they're definitely parallel. Alright, so I'm going to try the next one. 1, -3. And 7, -7. Nope, that's 6. There we go. Okay, so, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it won't stick. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to also draw a straight line through, and it looks like it's going to cross this line here. So I want to go ahead and draw it so it goes all the way across so that I can see if I think it's perpendicular or not. I don't think it is. Remember, you can use the paper, the corner of your paper. You just stick it into the corner right there. If it matches it perfectly, it's 90, but this is not 90. It looks like it's smaller than 90, 80 degrees or whatever. So I would say no, that's not perpendicular, and I'll just verify by counting my slope. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 4/6. Okay, oops, a little messy. Negative, okay, because when the line goes down from left to right, it's negative, so I'll put negative right there. Okay, and then I do want to reduce that. It's going to reduce to -2/3, and if you've forgotten how to reduce, you can use your calculator. So it's alpha y equals, and this calculator doesn't have it. Just kidding. This is an older calculator, but your calculators will work. You simplify fractions with alpha y equals. Okay, so it simplifies to -2/3. Okay, however, this perpendicular slope right here of the line is -3/2, which doesn't match. It does not match to -2/3. Alright? It's close, but it's not the perfect. Okay, so that's not going to be perpendicular. Now the last one obviously is probably the right answer, but I'm just going to graph it so you can see. I'm going to graph 1, 0, and -3, -3. Okay, so we gotta fix this one. Alright. Okay, now we're on number 8. So number 8 says, line A passes through points -3, 7, and 0, -4. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to line A? So I got some important things to look at. The points that they give me, they're asking me for slope, and then they're asking me for perpendicular slope. Okay, so remember that slope is simply rise over run. Okay, so we plot the points and we're going to count our rise and run, write it as a fraction, and reduce it in the calculator. Okay, so the perpendicular part of this question means that we're going to have to do two things to our slope. We're going to have to flip the fraction, and number 2, we're going to have to change the sign. So what that means is if the slope is positive, you're going to change it to negative. And if you have a negative slope, you're going to change it to a positive slope. Okay, so it's the opposite sign. Those are the two things we need to worry about when we finish this question. So since they're not graphed, I do have to plot my points. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to graph -3, 7, and I'm going to graph 0, -4. Then I'm going to draw a straight line through those points. Okay, and I want to draw it so it's long enough that it goes, through the whole length of the graph. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I definitely think it's negative. Negative, it's going down from left to right, so that makes the slope negative. Okay, So I'm going to count my rise and my run. So counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Double check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. So that's 11. And then my run is 1, 2, 3. That was pretty easy. So 3. 11 over 3 is my slope. Don't forget negative, okay? Negative. Negative 11 over 3. So go back to the question. So when we have to make the slope perpendicular, remember, we're going to flip our fraction. And then we're going to change the sign. So negative 11 over 3. So if we flip it, we're going to put 3 on top, 11 on bottom. So when we change the sign, we're going to take the negative away. We're going to make this a positive. So that's my answer. Positive 3 over 11. Right there. All right, next. Number 9. Which pair of points defines a line perpendicular, keyword, perpendicular, okay, to line S? Now, just to, talk about it first, perpendicular lines will cross at 90. So I'm going to give you an example of a perpendicular line right there. So that's an example of what a line perpendicular to this line will look like. So our goal is to graph each of the points and find which one is perpendicular. So I'm going to start with the first one, answer choice A. I'm going to graph my points 1, 6, and negative 2, 4. Then I'm going to draw a line to connect. Draw a line through them. Okay. And visually look and see, do I think that they're perpendicular? No. These definitely are not perpendicular, all right? There's those points I plotted. These are actually parallel. So if I count the slope of this line, it's a slope of 2 over 1, 2, 3, all right? And if I look at this line, I can find the slope, all right? Find my perfect points. Those look good. And count the slope. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. So these both have a slope of 2 over 3. Okay, so that means that these lines are certainly parallel. So if the question asks you for the parallel line, then you would choose answer choice A. But we have to find the perpendicular line, okay? So I'm going to try another answer choice B. All right, so I'm going to use a different color. On the test, you will get some color pencils, so you can use that to help you answer the question. So I'm going to graph 1, negative 3, and 5, negative 9. Okay, so I'm also going to draw the line. I'm going to draw it so that it goes all the way to the other side of the graph, because you want to see the intersection. Okay, and just looking at this intersection, it looks like 90 degrees. All right, if I were to take my paper, the corner of my paper, and stick it right there, it should line up perfectly if it were 90 degrees. All right, what I'm going to do is figure out what the slope of the line is. So I'm going to count my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And then over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I like to double check sometimes when I have to count more spaces. So 6 over 4, and that's negative because it's going down. So negative 6 over 4. All right, and that does reduce to negative 3 over 2. Okay, so I'm looking at negative 3 over 2, and I'm going to compare that slope to the slope of the original line, 2 over 3. If you take a look at them, they are opposite reciprocals, okay? This fraction is flipped, and then if that's positive and this fraction is negative, that means that that is the perpendicular slope, okay? So I'm for sure that answer choice B is the correct answer. Number 10 says plot point B on the grid below so that AB, line AB, is perpendicular, another keyword, to line M. Let's try that again. Perpendicular. Okay. So keep in mind, perpendicular lines, I'm going to show you an example.